Banter fam? Banter with Richie B is hitting the road, and we're heading somewhere that in our books is legendary. Join us June 27th and 28th as we head to charming Fair Farm for 2 days of mystery, history, and maybe a little chaos.
Whoa!
What the hell?
Live banter, real stories, unexpected moments. If you love the strange, the fun, and the unexplained, this is the one you do not want to miss. Make sure you're following because Banter with Richie B is bringing the energy straight to charming Fair Farm. See you there.
That one is just absolutely beautiful. There we go. All right, what the heck is going on here? Let's get rid of this here. Let's see. Remove. Let's see if I can get bigger here. There we go. I don't know why that's there either, so I want to remove that. There we go. All right, there we are. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I'm glad you guys are all here. It was nice having a little bit of a break last week. It's been very, very chaotic. I've had a lot going on with work. My brother, who I haven't seen in 2 years, came up last week for his granddaughter's graduation. So I got to spend time with him and stuff and been researching my butt off. So it's nice to be back, though. I appreciate seeing everybody here. Hey, Sam. So, yeah, I want to say hi to everybody. And I'm going to have to probably back up a little bit. Yo there, boss man. How are you? So glad you could make it. Your last night's show was awesome. You guys being out there. I had to switch back and forth between yours and Andy's because for some reason, it kept saying buffering on YouTube. Plus, it was nice watching Andy's because I could see what you and Wojo were doing. Instead of you just holding the camera. First one in tonight was Mary. Hey, Mary, how are you? Then Season Dragon. Then we have Tyler. And then this is awful. I always say Z with you just because it's just easier, but it's Zers. BDA is in the house. We've got Sam. We've got Tim. We've got Giovanni. We have, I can never say the Miseranthrophic America. Let's see. I got to back up here and see if I'm missing anybody. I hope everybody's had Mickey. Yeah, I think I said Mickey. Yes, I did say Mickey. Yay. All right. And then Sam's saying Poncho. So, hey. No, I am. I'm really happy to be back. This was nice. I'm so looking forward, though. Okay, W Wime. See, it's got a question mark. I don't know. What are you asking the question for? Oh, Ben. Hey, Ben, how are you? Jean is actually Sam. No, I'm not. I am far from Sam. Sam is just fantastic. She is an awesome executive producer. She did my thumbnail and I love the stuff that she comes up with. So I decided to take part of it and use it as my profile. And then I animated it, and it was hilarious because I had no idea that there was like a jaguar beside me for it. And when I animated it and the fireworks went off, the thing came up and it was just absolutely gorgeous. Hey, Denny, how are you? And Miss Jessie B, how are you? And yeah, Richie saying hi to everybody. So everybody saying hi to everybody. I love this. I love this whole group because it's just so friendly. I want everything when it comes down to this to be and just like Richie, just like Sam, just like Wojo, this network is, it's respect, agree to disagree, put your opinions out there because we love it. We love hearing other people's thoughts and opinions on stuff because it makes our minds go just like crazy. You have no idea. I go down rabbit holes all the time. And I did with this topic that I'm doing tonight, which is the Jaguars of the Southwest. I call them the comeback cats because they're supposedly extirpated, considered extinct in the area. But over the years, there's been multiple sightings and different things. So I decided to go over that. But once you get into that, though, because of the research that I do with the mystery cats, a lot of times jaguars will come into it. And when it does, you kind of have to start looking into what people are saying and different things and kind of go over the broad aspect of regions where these cats could have been seen. So you do a deep dive and you find out a lot of stuff, and it's really good. I love doing this stuff. Extremely close mountain lion. Oh, you did? Oh my God, I'd love to hear that. I would absolutely love to hear the extreme close mountain lion experience. You can reach me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can message me directly if you want my email. Tell me. I will give you my email. I love to hear these encounters and stuff. Just a continuous series of search. Giovanni, I hope you're feeling better. That's awful. Oh. I like my cheery Giovanni. Because I can call him that, Mr. Banter. So yeah, when you go through and you start looking into like the actual region and areas that jaguars were seen in and stuff over the years and things, it's funny because there's historical records of how far they went. But hey, Martin, how are you? You can be scary. Yeah, you can be scary there, Mr. B. I don't mess with Mr. B. Mr. B scares me. But yeah, so it's in the historical records and stuff, because if you do like Google searches and stuff, it will come up with different things, but it will actually start you on a path to be able to find more stuff. And with historical records, it indicates that jaguars that were native to North America, their range extended, excuse me, from the Mid-South to the southeastern states. And they even went as far back as Pennsylvania and the Great Lakes. So when you see that, you're like, oh, wow, they went that far back. So, because there are a lot of Black Panther sightings that come out of Pennsylvania. So it's like, oh, this is cool to know. But when you start doing the deep dive, it's fossil records, and the jaguars were a subspecies. They were actually bigger, and they were there during the Ice Age, which I was like, oh, they've actually been able to pull fossils out of caves, a cave system there in Pennsylvania, which I was like, this is really, really cool. But it also states, though, that like in the 1700s, the 1600s and stuff, there were jaguars in Virginia, in the Carolinas. They've been recorded in Tennessee, Alabama and stuff. And it's just really cool to see that how far they've gone. Hey, Zuli, how are you? I'm hoping I'm not missing anybody. Hey, John, how are you? I'm sorry I did miss you. And Terra Prime Zero. Hey, how are you? Grande's 12. Hello. Saw Sam was live. Apologies. I don't know the host's name. I'm Jean. Welcome. This is Ghost Cats and Cryptids. my show goes through Sam's Pretty Paranormal channel. It goes through Banter with Richie B. We're part of the Banter with Richie B podcast. We research Bigfoot. We research mystery cats. Sam takes care of the ghost stuff for us, and the executive producing stuff. She is amazing. We have a great array of stuff. We have Wojo's Home of the Boom. So yeah, sit back if you enjoy the stuff on cryptids and everything, and ask away questions all you want, because I love questions. I love people's opinions on things. And I figured if I get stumped, I have not seen BMO yet, but if BMO shows up, I know I'll be going, hey, BMO, can you tell me this? Because I know BMO knows everything. BMO, how are you? BMO. Thanks to Richie, I know to say it that way now. I'm doing good. How about you? It's great to see everybody in the chat. It's great to see all the camaraderie that goes on and stuff. This family is fantastic. I really, truly do appreciate being a part of this. Looking for someone who investigates the googly. Oh, yeah, the googly is one of the one version of the Bigfoot. It's actually the scariest version of the Bigfoot. I know a little bit of the googly, but that's not what this episode's about. I can't believe the Canadian lynx sighting. And yeah, well, that's the thing though, Martin. I know we're jumping off topic of what this show's about, but I love being able to do this with the Canadian lynx. It was like I've been saying before with me and Jean, as in Jeannie. As in Jeannie, yeah. I always, say I can't fit in a bottle. Sorry. I'm not about to try either. Yeah, with the Canadian lynx, though, Martin, what I find is they're endangered. They have been for forever that I know of in Maine. But over the last few years, especially on like the Facebook groups I have, like Maine Wildlife and other stuff, the amount of photos that are coming out of the Canadian lynx, the females with their young, it's incredible. There's so many photos now of these things. So they're making a nice little comeback. I really think that it's awesome. And somebody had posted a video the other night of them screaming like the bobcats do. It's just crazy. Like I said, when you're out there in the woods and stuff and you look and you're listening for things, researching things, know the animals, because, man, some of these animals sound extremely creepy. Hey, Kurt W., how are you? Papa Squatch, thank you for coming. Oh, my goodness. Depends on the bottle. Very funny. Very, very funny. I like that. I like your sense of humor. You're going to fit in just fine here. But so yeah, with Pennsylvania and different stuff with the Jaguars, it was all prehistoric. It was all Ice Age times that they were discovered there. But when you start looking into different things with like the 17th to the 19th century, with Jaguars and the regions they were in. They ventured into Louisiana. They ventured into Mississippi, into the Southern Appalachians. Like I said, they were in the Carolinas. English explorers discussed, different topics on, when they saw them. I'd like to see that Sasquatch figure behind you. Which Sasquatch figure? Oh, I've got like a ton. I have a ton of Sasquatch figures. Hold on. I've got... this one, I've got this one, I've got this one that I made. I have got this statue that I have. Let me put those back. Then I've got, and then I have this one that I created and I put on a wooden base. And that's, yeah. I'm not like super talented when it comes to technology, but I am, like, I can say I'm artsy, so I do appreciate that. Oh, you have the same one? That's awesome. That is awesome, Tyler. So yeah, so going back to the Jaguars. Well, I love that. Yeah, with like in the Carolinas, like, okay, Sam, I'm not trying to freak you out because I know that, this stuff does scare you. Because the last time that one was seen in North Carolina or anything like that was in the 1700s. So you're safe. You're good. Sorry, I got to pick on Sam every now and then. Oh, thank you so much, Zuli. Yeah, I had a mold that I could make the stuff, so I made some up. I kept some for myself and I gave some out as gifts and stuff. And so that was let's see, we're back to the Jaguars again. With North Carolina, it was noted that the English explorer John, see, I love this. I have like this book that I keep all of my notes. This one is going to be my Jaguar book, and it's just full along with all the pages that I have. But I wanted to make sure that I was. Thank you, Mary, that I had plenty of stuff to go over, because this topic is really, to me, it's kind of like my mountain lion topics. It's very, very important to me. That's cool, Gene. I'm collecting Sasquatch stuff. I have a ton of stuff. I actually have a ton of stuff in totes. I had to condense down. Gene, you're real mean, Gene. I had to condense down some of my stuff because where my research had expanded. Ooh, and Laura said 2 years ago. Oh, I'd love to, but she's not 100% sure. Yeah, I actually got done. So we're gonna go off topic. So I apologize to anybody who's new, but this is what this show is we get going on stuff, and I will get back to the topic and I will cover it. But I really love the fact that we can just kind of communicate through chat. I love you guys so much for that. I got to put up a caption real quick here, and let's see. All right, let's do this one. There we go. Now I'll get back to chats. All right, so wait a minute. Do. All right, I got to go up here because I lost a comment. I was going to change, but now I can't. All right. Hey, Kurt. Hey, Tyler. Okay, everybody's talking again. All right, so I lost where the comment was where I was going to actually talk about the stuff. But yeah, even when Giovanni went there, she's not 100% sure, that's fine. When you get a chance, my cryptids on the other breed of a cat. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, actually the catamounts aren't. They're actually they're another name for cougars and pumas. And that's what my research goes around there's the mystery cats in the Northeast, which is the mountain lion sightings, which for Vermont, they're called catamounts, but they have over 40 names: cougar, panther, puma, all kinds of different stuff. No, I didn't make the molds for those. No, I did not. I wish I did, but I didn't. I actually could. With the ones that I've got, I could actually make a mold for it if I had the time. But I'm like, I've got so much going on. My head spins. I love all the types of subjects. Yeah. It's crazy because it's like I don't have like ADHD, but sometimes I feel like I do, because it's like we start talking something. It's like, ooh, butterfly, ooh, balloon, I'm going to just change right out of the whole entire topic. But yeah, the last time that they were noted in North Carolina, jaguars, was in the 1700s. They've not been noted since then. And in South Carolina, it was actually earlier than that. It was 1682 when they were documented in the backcountry of South Carolina. Louisiana was one of the more ones that were current. I thought I heard cryptid story of catamounts, like oh yeah, the catamounts back then, they actually called them American lions, which is funny because when I get going with the jaguar stuff, you'll find out that one of the names they have for the mountain lions, cougars, panthers, pumas, catamounts, all that stuff. Like I said, they have American lion. They have over 40 names. It's incredible how many names these guys have. And two of the names that they have listed for mountain lions or panthers is actually names that were used for jaguars back in colonial times, because they literally stated the fact that they were not panthers due to the fact that they were much bigger and much, to them, scarier. They were not skittish like cougars, catamounts, whatever. They're all the same animal. They're skittish, okay? Unless they're being defensive. If they're protecting their territory, if they're protecting young, they will be extremely defensive. Other than that, most of the time, you won't even know that they're there. But yeah, people get scared so much, and that's my main thing. Is I try when I do these things, I'm trying to teach that you should have a fear. And it's a natural fear, but you shouldn't be so petrified that they have been discussing in Vermont lately that they want to reintroduce them into Vermont again. And people are up in arms and stuff. It's like, I can understand, but you've got to have a respect for these animals. Most of the time, you don't even know they're there. I did one back on Mother's Day about one that lives in California, that had lived in California. He is now no longer here, P22, but he lived in just an 8-mile radius. They have up to 150. He lived in a tiny 8-mile radius that thousands of people hiked, biked, trailed, did picnics. They put on plays, and nobody ever saw him in that park, which is amazing in itself. And he never hurt anybody in that park. He lived there for 10 years. So, I mean, there is a fear. No, it's not its own species. If you actually look it up, it is one of 40 names for it. They're not their own species. They're not. They're the same cat. And scientists will like to tell you too, like if they come from the West and they move out here and say that they mingle or whatever, they're subspecies, it's all the same cat. The only time it's different if it's from South America, because South American mountain lions, panthers, pumas, whatever you want to call them, they do look different. They have more of a stockier, I want to say blockier head, and it's different. You can actually tell the difference if you Google the difference. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you, Giovanni. I really, I try. It's not that I like to preach. It's my thing is, and BMO said it the other day so much. What are you talking about? Missed it. I've been trying to talk about the Jaguars in the Southwest that are making a comeback, but we're getting into other stuff there. I don't know how to say your name. I am so sorry. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Actually, in Vermont, there's a lot that have them as catamounts too, that most of the mascots for the schools. Topic is in the title. Yeah, thank you, Sam. Although we get off topic, which is fine. Like I said, I love having these discussions, and like BMO said at one point in time, he was like extremely BMO was extremely excited for the fact that I'm very passionate about this, and I am. Cool. It's okay. Yeah, no problem. It's I'm very passionate about this because I want people to be more educated on stuff. I don't like the fear. I mean, I have a fear too, but I have no fear of going into the woods and looking for these big cats. I mean, you can call it stupidity a lot, if a lot of people would, but I find that if you have the respect and you know what to do if something does come around where I might end up pissing it off when I'm in its territory. I know what to do. I know to make myself bigger. I know to make myself louder, and I'm loud as it is. So making myself louder, I mean, that thing's going to run in another direction. Hey, Lowdown, how are you? Oh my gosh, thank you for being here. Yeah, and so it's just like you need to know what to do. You need to like I said before, it's all about knowing your area, knowing the animals in it and what to do. And I know for one of those, if I come across it, I need to stand my ground, not run. You never ever run, period. No matter what animal it is, bear or anything, you stand your ground, you make yourself bigger, and you just yell. And I literally keep that in mind because I don't carry a weapon when I'm out there. I do have a tree knocker because that's in my backpack for my gear as it is. I have a big buck knife, but I don't, that's in my back pocket. But the only time I actually carry anything big is my husband actually takes a machete sometimes, and that's just to cut down the tall grass when we're trying to get through because the ticks are horrible. And we're not going to get into that because Sam covered that the other night on her show. And oh, thank you, Zuli. Hi, Jared. Oh, everybody's saying hi. Yay. All right. So back to the Jaguar topic. So they were, they were discovered throughout, the southern states, Louisiana, there was records in the Carolinas, in Virginia, the lower Appalachian Mountains. Tennessee has documented, Florida has it too. There was never anything big. And by the 18th century, most of what happened in that area with those cats, they were just eradicated. And it happened later on in the 19th century with the Southwest, with Texas, with Arizona, with New Mexico. These cats were eradicated. Yeah. Well, it started off, we were trying to start with the modern day, but when you deep dive into research, because I go down rabbit holes, I'm sorry there, sir. I end up going down rabbit holes. So when it says, because it says, oh yeah, they were in Pennsylvania, their range went as far as the Great Lakes, I have to look into it. And that's when it got into the prehistoric. So that was that. Yeah, see, we're going off topic again. The horror that is ticks. I'm telling you, I can't keep it on topic. I'm going by the chat, and I just keep going with everybody's. From my sisters next door. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, hey, dude, how are you? Spawns of Satan. Yes, they are. And I don't care what BMO says. There is no purpose for ticks, okay, except to just totally terrify us and annoy us. But we're done with the ticks topic. So, anywho, there were when it comes to the Jaguars and stuff, like I said, most of the stuff is prehistoric. And then it goes into, the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th century and stuff. And then you get into today's eras and stuff with, the 20th century and the Southwest, because that is mainly their territory now. It was Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona is where they were. Says Kingsland is in the high country. So how big would you estimate the population of these cats? Zulia, are you meaning the Jaguars? Because I don't know. D Hoot says Kingsland is in the high country. Okay. Kingsland. Did I say I don't? Yeah. I'm confused here, Sam. See, now we're going off topic all over again. So let's just go over the Jaguar stuff again if we can. They don't have a population right now. All they have is the photos that they're getting from trail cameras and others. Right now, there's been 8 recorded in Arizona. I'm not sure about New Mexico. That's why I love when BMO is around. But they were supposed to be extirpated from Arizona. The last known female was killed in 1963. And since then, there hadn't been any sighting. Well, after that, there hadn't been any sightings until 1996 when Warren Glenn, who was a mountain lion hunter, huge DEA. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, Sam. Lion hunter. His daughter hunted with him and stuff. That's what they did. They were hunters because out there they're considered, there's too many. They have a hunting season, stuff like that. And he was out hunting with his daughter when the dogs actually cornered a jaguar on the rocks. And he decided, well, wait a minute. He was like, I've got to get some photos of this. And he actually took photos of the first jaguar recorded in the state in 1996. I think people have seen it in Florida and Canada. I don't know about Canada. Florida did have an article that I found of jaguar in Florida, and it was actually, I believe, the article said it was actually somebody's pet that he had actually let out, and the thing was roaming around, and it freaked everybody out. And he said not to worry because it would come home when it was ready to be fed. And that's one of the things when any of these big cat sightings, when I was talking to the gentleman up at Dew Haven, when there's sightings and stuff with the mountain lions in the state, I was like, how many times you get calls? And he said, oh, we get calls all the time. Is there a popular or forgotten jaguar cryptid? Sorry, from the Southwest. No, it's not. There. See, with the cryptids, you have a wide variety. There's an umbrella. Okay, you've got like the hidden or the unknown, like Bigfoot and different stuff, and then you have the ones that are out of place, and that's. I started off with Bigfoot. I was interested in the whole Nessie thing, other cryptids and stuff, but I had my own sighting of a juvenile mountain lion in my state, which got me going extremely ballistic because they're considered extinct in the state, extirpated from the area and all of the eastern U.S. except for Florida. Florida is the only one that will recognize that we have them. So if any of the other states see them, you're not seeing what you're seeing. You're being told it's a misidentification, yada, yada, yada. So I got right into that. And with the Jaguars, they kind of fall under that to a point because where they're extirpated and they're considered extinct, they're making a comeback. They're not technically a cryptid. They're out of place because they were there and they're no longer there. So it falls under the cryptid category. I'd never heard about the devil monkeys in there. Oh, wow. See, I never heard about devil monkeys in Arizona. So see that you just taught me something. So that's great. See, this is what this is about. Seen the word a couple times, but don't quote me. Oh, no, I'm not going to quote you, but that's awesome to know. That's awesome to know. I know that they have Bigfoots in Arizona. I have a couple books on I cannot remember this, the Mongolo or something, what they call it is a Mongolo monster or something. I can't remember, but I have the books by Sue Farnsworth. Hate it when they always say it's yeah, I do too. I don't like the fact that they say it's misidentified. And because yes, your eyes can play tricks on you. If anybody follows my Ghost Cats and Cryptids page, I will straight up say I've talked to the state biologist and I agree. It's not so much that you're not seeing what you're seeing. Sometimes things seem bigger than what you're seeing. Like when I saw this cat, it wasn't bigger, but I literally my first thought, and I was trying not to hit it, was instead of it being a little mountain lion, juvenile mountain lion, I thought it was actually a leopard because I'm not used to seeing a juvenile mountain lion and the spots that they have that fade when they get older. And I'm literally like, oh my God, I'm going to hit this little, leopard. What's this little, there's no leopards in Maine. It's just, it's funny. Cute. Yes, yes, they are. That I don't know. That I have no idea on. I'm sure that there is because there's a lot of stuff when it comes to these animals, even like the mountain lions and stuff. The indigenous people have so much knowledge on the stuff, and I find so much respect in a lot of their beliefs and stuff because they want things to, like with P-22 in California, they wanted him to be buried where he, came from. They didn't want him stuffed. They didn't want him, anything like that. And they fought like crazy and they won. So it was great. Oh, come on. Don't you want to get blamed for going off topic? I think that's funny. Hey, Wojo, how are you? So glad you could be here. But yeah, so it's really hard to say because with the Jaguars and stuff, they have got 5 that they know of that they have gotten photos and stuff on trail cams repeatedly over the years since 2009 to now. Even though Warren Glenn was able to get the photo in 1996. It states, though, that only 8 Jaguars have, no, not 8, sorry. Sorry. They say 5, but they will go up and say a few more. It's just it's documented, so it's very hard to get a specific number on the stuff. But everybody, all the papers will tell you that so far, though, there's not been a documented sighting of a female in Arizona. So with that being said, we're back to what they normally say with like the mountain lions in the east and stuff. Except they're keeping them protected there. They've never actually removed them from the endangered species list. There was a lawsuit from one of the groups that wants protection for them, saying that there was a lapse or something, and they got that fixed. But most places will give you a hard time with any sighting that you have, because the first thing that they want to say is there's once they can't say it's not a misidentification or it's not a loose pet, they will go to there's no breeding population. That is the whole thing to it. Boom chicka boom boom. I love it. Boom chicka boom boom. Benno, hey, how are you? So glad to see you. So I did pull up the photos of each of the Jaguars, though, that they have. Let me change the captions here, though. I think we need to switch Sam up since it's been Sam for a little bit. And then I will go back to comments and then try to pull up pictures. Come on, captions. There we go. Do. Now I don't need to. There we go. Let's go with Wojo this time. Let's give Wojo some love. Why is Wojo not coming up? Okay, cancel. There we go. Show. Oh, I am so not technology savvy. All righty. Here we go. We're back. Jean, not going to go down that rabbit hole, but any relation. Yes, and we're not going to go down that rabbit hole because I'm staying away from skinwalkers. Sorry about all of that, but paranormal creeps me out, okay? Sorry, not going to even go near anything that I consider paranormal, and that right there, I consider paranormal. So skinwalkers is not going to be a topic. All right, so let's go up to images and see if I can pull these guys up. All right. Let's see if I can do it in order, though. That's the thing. Can I do it in order? Because I actually numbered these photos because they're come on, you pop up. Let's see. Did I get it right, or do I have to go back and do it again? Oh, number 5. All right. So we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So we didn't do it right. So the newest of the Jaguars that have been spotted, and several times, enough to know. Thank you, Wojo. Yes, I'm an idiot. I know. Laugh at me. Woo. That, Julie, I did not look up. I'm just... No, I do not like ghosts at all. Nope. You take them, Sam. Okay, you can have them. See, you're braver than I am on that factor, so we're good. See, we're even. This is Cinco. That's what they call him, because he is the 5th one. The photos I pulled up are actually courtesy of the Wildlife Research and Conservation Center in Arizona, who've been studying them. They're in disorder. Yeah. But yeah, and what I like too is they've been able to figure out. Yeah, it is gorgeous. There's 2 of them. The first one that's number 1 is El Jaffe, the boss, but it's him and Sambra. That they realized with Sambra that they could actually, when the photos came in, they could actually kind of overlap them, and their spots and their designs are like fingerprints. So that's how you tell them apart. Ghosts are fun. No, Andy, they're not. You go ahead and you take care of the ghosts. Don't want anything to do with them. There's things I do if I just I think I would freak if I actually saw one in the wild because they are massive. That was and they actually I've looked into it because I had D who'd asked me at one point their, strengths and stuff. Their jaw strength is like the strongest of all the big cats. So yeah, I really don't want to meet one in the wild. And if I did, I would probably, pardon the expression, need adult diapers. Sorry. All right, so let's remove this one and go to the fourth one. Can I remove it? There we go. And that's why I did the pictures so big, was because they're not mine. They're actually the Wildcat Research Center's. And I wanted to make sure that they get credit for it and I don't get in trouble for, copyright issues. BDA. Are you laughing at BDA? All right. And the next one. Oh, come on. Click. There we go. Do. Oh, there we go. Number 4. That I believe is, that actually has no name. They haven't named that one. They actually have, yeah. It's just the location it was at. And do not ask me the name of the mountains. I will spell it for you and you can try to pronounce it, but I can't. There's no way. CHIRICHUA. It's, yeah. I like big cats and I cannot lie. That's hilarious. I think we need to come up with a song for that. Hey, Carrie, how are you? Oh my gosh. Yeah, they are, and they're all so unique. And what I like about them though is, even though there isn't a breeding population and stuff, when you go through the research, there's a lot of work that is going into trying to allow them the corridors they need. And with Cinco, the first one that was up there, number 5, they've been able to trace his steps, and he uses the same trackway every time between Mexico and Arizona. So they know that they're gonna keep pushing forward. And the thing that right now, it's been 2 years ago, but they had estimated that Mexico has about 5,000 jaguars. And I don't know about their dispersal. I know about mountain lion dispersal, but I'm assuming that you've got to be able to have a decent dispersal area, which will hopefully allow them to start migrating back to where they were. It's even Glenn Warren, who was an avid mountain lion hunter, he believed in keeping numbers down. You've got to make sure that the populations are even throughout. You don't want something that's taking all the food and then there's nothing left. I don't agree with him hunting mountain lions, but that's just my opinion. But he was also a conservationist, and he literally had stated that they needed protection. There's not enough of them, so they need protection. And I thought that was wonderful. Can I pet that cat? No, you can't. I wouldn't recommend it. I actually have seen photos of people in places where they're actually holding small ones, and I don't think that that's right. I think that that's so wrong. So we're gonna remove that image and let's try to bring up the third one. I like that it's actually going backwards and I can know the pictures. I tried to get it so that I could do that. I do not know. I have no idea if they do or not. What I do find funny is when you go through the Carolinas and Louisiana and have a name for them. They actually them tigers with a Y. And then a lot of them called them American tigers. And I thought that was funny because those two names are also names that they use for panthers. But when they stated in the things, their accounts, because the ones in Louisiana, there was 2 men that actually tracked it down and killed. I think it was like 1886 or something. When they stated, they said it was like 8 feet long. It weighed 250 pounds, and it was not a panther. It was an American tiger, which I thought was funny. Oh, well, thank you very much for that. That is awesome to know. See, look at that. Hummingbirds are out. That's funny. Oh, yes, MA, that is perfect. Thank you so much for that. See, if I don't know something, I'm going to tell you. I don't like to just guess on things, and I had no idea whatsoever. And that is awesome. All righty. So, number 3 is Sumbora. And Sumbora had been seen, I want to say since, I want to say around 2016, 17. And he is the one that they will use when we get to number 1, who was the first big boy to show up, because these are all males. Like I said, there's been no females that have been documented there. So let me see if I can put up number 2, which is Yoko. Don't ask me why they call it that, but there we go. And it's a pretty kitty, number 2. Well, yeah, MA, panthers have been if you're talking, the mountain lions, which is a panther, puma, like I said, we're going to go through the name thing constantly with me, because there's over 40 names for them. They were all over and stuff. And I know that there's a lot of places now that say that they're not there. The Northeast is big on that. When it comes to Missouri and stuff, I don't know what they say on it. I know Michigan said for the longest time, but now Michigan has actually documented kittens, so they will state that they do have them now. Yeah, well, Jaguars are Black Panthers. We won't get into the whole Black Panther discussion because there technically so far has never been a mountain lion, melanistic mountain lion documented. I'm not saying that there's never been one. I'm just saying documented. So science will tell you they don't exist. Most of the time when you discuss Black Panthers, it's either a melanistic jaguar or a melanistic leopard. And jaguars, actually 10% of jaguars are carry that melanistic gene, and they are black. So, but you can still see their markings through the fur, which is great. Yeah, they are beautiful markings, and they're all like fingerprints to them. Well, I'd like to see, because I'm telling you, solid black jaguars, you can still see the spots underneath them. And it's just it's because they have a genetic disorder called melanism. Yeah, it is, but they're called Black Panthers, but I'm just saying that yes, black jaguars do, but a black mountain lion supposedly does not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying what you're saying is not right, MA, because it is. I've had this whole show on melanism and leucism, which is the variation where their fur goes white, and they're not albino because they still have brown brown or blue eyes. Their eye color stays the same. It doesn't go red. All right, so now I want to get rid of this photo. Why is that doing that? And I want to go to El Jaffe. Come on. Which is the last one. And here we go. And here we go. Oh yeah, no, I'm not arguing with you either. I'm very passionate about this. Please don't think I'm arguing with you because I'm not. Um, yes, black jaguars do exist. They're melanistic, and you can still, like you said, see it visibly. What I don't agree with scientists is saying that there's no such thing as a black panther, because if you state black panther, they want it to be a mountain lion, and I have pulled up all kinds of stuff on melanism, and every animal has the ability to be melanistic, and they will tell you that cougars do not have that ability, that gene or whatever, but all animals have it. It's just some have it more poignant, yeah, whatever, more than others do. And jaguars, like I said, they have that gene to cause their fur to go black, the melanism, that melanistic gene. They have that to the point that it's like 10% of the population is melanistic. Wow, MA, come on. And this is the last one. This is number one. This is El Jaffe. This was the first one in 2015 that they were able to document. And they used Sombroya and photos of El Jaffe here, which they call the boss. It's Mexican for the boss. He's a big boy, but that's how they were able to distinguish it, was two different ones. And since then, all the other ones, they've actually done the same thing, where they take the photos and they try to line up the markings and stuff, because it's like their own little fingerprint. Yeah. Uno. Yeah. I was just dropping Google knowledge. Well, I'm glad you were. No, I'm very happy about this. And honestly, I'm not arguing with you. I'm sorry if that's the way it sounded. I am just very, 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 very passionate, maybe too passionate about this stuff. And I've loved this stuff my entire life. And then to be able to discuss it with others and interact with others about it, I'm just very, very thankful that I've been able to do to start this. If Richie hadn't asked me, I'd probably still just be doing my research on my own. And every time I ran into him or something and something happened, I'd be screaming, "What the hell?" Which I can't wait for Charming Fair again, because that will be awesome. That is going to be so awesome. So I want to pull some stuff out here. Yeah, let's see. That's not what I wanted. So they are working. There are different projects. It's like I said, these photos came from yeah, here we go. Again, sorry, I need my notes or I go crazy. The Wildcat Rescue and conservation group. But there's also the North American Jaguar Project, and that's protecting the borders. It also helps other animals, not just jaguars. Hey, no, yes. Yeah, and they do have the black. They have melanistic tigers. There's black tigers. There's a lot of them in a preserve, like a nature preserve in India. It's insane. And what I find the strange about the tigers, though, the melanistic ones, is some of them, it's only like their back half or their top half, and the rest of them are still like the tiger color. It's insane. Yes, I do. I do. Thank you, Sam. What is it about that piqued your interest, made you passionate about it? What drew me to this topic, and anybody that knows me when I first started doing this, is when I was a kid, I was scared of everything. So let me take these guys down here. So when I was a kid, I was scared of everything. I was scared of the dark. I was scared to go in the woods. Not anymore. Okay. My mom had no issue with horror movies. I've seen a smaller cat that had spots, that couldn't remember the breed. Yeah, there's a lot of different cats out there. Savannah cats are big, like Maine Coon cats. And there's Bengal cats. The Savannah cats, actually, you can put on a leash. They're good sized cats. No, I'm not doing Pink Panther. It's not going to happen. But I actually saw a documentary kind of movie of it was called Sasquatch. Sasquatch, the Legend of Bigfoot, and I got obsessed with it. I read my first case book in the 4th grade, and since then I've just been going on. Yes, there are hybrids. I will do a thing on hybrids because I get all frustrated, but I'm trying to answer this one question first. So actually it all snowballed from there. I continued, even though I was told by my teacher that I wasted my time reading stuff on it because it's just a big joke. I continued to do so. I just kept it to myself. I became a volunteer for a while at the ICM, which is the International Cryptozoology Museum. I ended up learning so much more about different cryptids like that I didn't even know about. There was, like the thylacine and classic animals of discovery, like animals that were thought to be stories, myths, or monsters. So it was all cool, and it kept me going. And then I found out that mountain lions were considered to be cryptids in this state. And when I had, which I thought was crazy because I'd grown up hearing stories of them. And yeah, it has a Bengal cat, and drop her off. She put me inside. Yeah, they do have amazing patterns. And so it just kind of snowballed from there. I had my sighting. And I mean, I've done Bigfoot expeditions. I've done stuff with dogmen. My mountain lion stuff is mainly what I do now, along with my Bigfoot. I love it. I love being outdoors. I love everything about just the peace and quiet now, making new friends. Although I don't, this is the first time I've shared any of my stuff. Usually I kind of kept it to myself because either you get laughed at, or some people just kind of like, oh, well, let me use this, or and it's like, yeah. So this is thanks to Richie and the podcast family, I'm able to open up more and share more. So I I appreciate that. And I like being able to discuss stuff like this with you guys. I had a great last night. Oh, Zuli, you have a good night. Oh, bye, TP. Okay, so it's not you leaving. Okay, good. Gotta go. Oh, night, John. Yes, I do remember the Ligers in Napoleon Dynamite, although I thought that movie was weird, but my son loved it. And I've actually looked into the hybrid situation and stuff, and found that there was actually hybrids in the early 1900s. So I will be doing a show on that at some point, because they always state with us, because in this state, even my state biologist will tell you that the bobcats in this state are the biggest that he's ever seen in his life. And it's people have always had this curiosity of, well, what if they're kind of crossbreeding and you get a hybrid, and you're getting told, no, it's never, that's not even possible. Well, I have documentation on a mountain lion and an ocelot breeding. And that's a very big difference in cats. Okay. A very, very big difference in cats. And if the bobcats here are larger and stuff, why is it not a possibility? I would love to have a Maine Coon cat. Yeah. Giovanni has a coworker has, okay, hold on. Let me go back to Giovanni's question. They should, Giovanni. I can't guarantee it, but you would think that they would, just because of the fact that the coloration of the skin. Yeah, ocelots are tiny, because of the the coloration of the skin, where the their markings are. It should show just like tigers do. Yeah, it is a very tiny cat. So don't tell me that something that tiny and a mountain lion, although I will say they did it in captivity and there was no harm to either animal. But this is the issue that I have with a lot of stuff. I don't like science. I don't like the fact that a lot of times they like to play God and kind of mix um, things up and stuff, because ocelots are very, very tiny. But thankfully it was a male one. Please. Oh, thank you, Zuli. So yeah, I just find that when it comes to this, the Jaguars have got they're making a slight comeback, and I hope that with the sightings that are happening and all of the efforts that are going on, that they will continue to thrive and continue to be able to come back through. And with the numbers that Mexico has, I'm hoping that sooner or later maybe a female can come in, because it would be nice to get to a point where these animals are back in areas that they were before. Texas will still say to this day, they will not say that they are extinct where they'll remove them from the endangered species list. They use the word extirpated, like this state did until 2018 when they finally declared them extinct and removed them from the endangered species list. But they use extirpated, meaning that they are no longer locally in the area and stuff. Although I have seen some pictures come out of Texas of what appeared to be a black jaguar or black panther, if you prefer that term. A lot of people were laughing at it, but just from what I saw of it and the distance and the fact that there was a tractor off to the side and this thing was still a good sized animal walking away, I found it very intriguing. Texas will say that they doubt that they'll get them because of the fact that they have some, the population is just, it's overwhelming, and that there's really no area for them. But we never know. And a lot of times too, when I get people talking to me, because I've said this before with mountain lions, they normally do not carry their food into a tree. They kind of cache it, or cache, oh, I like to say cache. It's just kind of rough up some leaves and bury it so they can keep a closer eye on it, because it takes a lot of energy for them to take down a deer or a larger animal. But with jaguars, because of the bite force they have and the powerful jaws they have, it would be nothing for one of them to carry something up into a tree and leave it up there. But I'm not saying that that's what it is, but if something was around, and it hasn't been that long, because Texas, their last one was the last one that was officially there that they said was killed was 1948. And if they're moving into New Mexico and Arizona, because Cinco has been going through New Mexico too, it's documented. I want 100% doors and remains people. That's cool. It's just, there's a chance that they'll make a real comeback, and that's what I'm like, over and not under. But yeah, and that's what I hope for. I know a lot of people think that some of the stuff is nonsense, but I am pro getting things back to the way they used to be. All this technology and all this arrogance that goes on in the world today. It's just nice to know that what we do to destroy things and kind of take over things, that animals have the resilience to come back. And right now, with the amount of times that these cats have been sighted, it does look like they're making a comeback, and I think that that's a really good thing. And I do think that having the projects that are going with the Northern Jaguar Project, and with the Wildcat research and conservation one, it's teaching and learning tools for people. They to learn how to coexist. It's just like with the Mountain Lion Foundation or Panthera, they're teaching people to coexist with mountain lions, with wolves, with other animals, because adapt to our madness. That's what it seems like it is. It's like it's adapt to our way or perish. And Hey, Jason, how are you? Yeah, so that's just my opinion. Like I said, everybody doesn't have to have my opinion. It's my opinion, and I just hope that everybody enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed the talks tonight, even though I went off topic. I don't know how many times and stuff. Well, let me tell you, Jason, everybody's been doing great in chat tonight. They've been having a great night. At least I think they have been. There's been a lot of questions, a lot of talk back and forth. It's been great. Awesome. I pray we succeed. Yeah. So I'm gonna so well on trails. But them cats are sneaky. Yeah, they are. But the thing with it though too is if you're out there, most of the time you won't know that they're there unless, you know, like I said, there might be an issue or whatever. But I learned one thing, and this is going to sound like the stupidest thing, but when you're out on a trail or something, take an extra pair of sunglasses with you and put them on the back of your head, because it makes it look like you're staring back. And where there's sneak attacks and their sneak attack cats, and they like to be stealthy and come from behind, that the glasses screw them up where they think that, you know, you're staring at them even though you're walking in the other direction. So rope on the house today all night. All right, so I'm going to just call it a night. I'm going to thank everybody for being here. I want to remind everybody to make sure to tune in Tuesday for Wojo Show, home of the boom. I am so excited, and another less than 3 weeks away, I'll be in Charming Fair Farms, and I'll get to see Wojo, and I'll get to see Richie. I'll get to see BDA. Martin's supposed to be there. Hopefully Denny's there. I don't know if he's going to make it. Miss Jessie, I hope, gets to show up again. I'll have Stan, which it won't matter if I'm there because they'll have Stan. You know, they'll be off doing their thing, but whatever. That's okay. It'll be great just being out and researching again. I was about to ask if one they travel, so they could definitely. I can't say that that's for sure, but yeah, people do what they want with the cats wear face masks. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is just do that to kind of knock them off their game, because they're stealthy. I'm not going to say they're not. And then remember, Friday night we have Sam's Pretty Paranormal. I'm not sure what she's going to be doing, but it'll be fantastic as usual. Last week she was reading a scary story from the book that she's been reading, and yeah, along with talking ticks and other stuff, and we're trying to get her out camping. Okay, so this is the big thing. Okay, Richie's show, Wojo show, my show, Sam's show. We got to get that girl camping. Bye, Mary. You have a good night. Thank you, Jason. That's awesome. And then Saturday, of course, we have Mr. Bossman himself, Banter with Richie B and his co-host Wojo. I'm hoping, I don't know what the show will be Saturday night, but they've been doing lives and they want to do more lives, show wise. And I think that's great. Boots on the ground. We're discussing, I'm not sure where we're at right now, but there's supposed to be a YouTube channel where it's Boots to the Ground, which would be great. And I'm hoping when I'm at Charming Fair, because like I said, I am technology not savvy at all. So I want to be able to do lives through my Facebook too, because I'm out in the woods a lot and it would be nice. It's okay. Thank you. Oh, this is just, yeah. Hey, Miss Jessie. Hey, are you going to be at Charming Fair, Miss Jessie B? Are you going to be showing up again? Please, please, please. And remember, when it comes to research, and Jean, look at what's here. I will. Thank you, D Hoot. I will definitely, and I will let her know so she can get back to you on that. Okay. Make sure whatever you do in life, when it comes to research work, and lately with work, sometimes you just have to say, what the hell. Have a good night, guys. Bye.